Today we shall discuss regarding the mechanical system, its analysis when it is subjected to rotational motion. So, as you know, when mechanical system subjected to translational motion, we already discussed few parts, uh, the major elements like mass, spring, friction, and its force equation. Similarly, what happens when a mechanical system subjected to rotational motion? So this topic was discussed earlier. Since due to the network error I was unable to convey, so I will just give the brief description. See, the rotational system, you can see the definition, a motion about fixed axis, we call it as a rotational system. When it is having a translational motion, so their force will coming to the picture, whereas here it will be torque. So torque will be measured force into distance from the fixed axis. And you need to keep in mind, spring and friction will behave in same manner whether it is an translational or rotational motion. And we measure torque in terms torque due to inertia, so that is J into d square theta of t by dt square. What is this theta of t? So we call this as an angular displacement. So angular displacement. So followed with, we shall see the changes what happens when a mechanical system subjected to translational and rotational motion. So following are the terms that we will use in solving the problem. So the first is, it will be mass in translational motion, and in rotational it will be inertia. So as I said, friction and spring will behave in same manner irrespective of the motion, and we will measure force in translational and torque in rotational. So similarly, displacement, velocity, acceleration in translational, whereas in rotational it will be angular displacement, angular velocity, and angular acceleration. So acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. So this table will be helpful for you to understand what happens to the mechanical system when it is subjected to rotational motion and when it is subjected to translational motion. Now, please pay attention here. So this is where you will understand how to write a nodal diagram. Okay, nodal diagram of a given mechanical system. So I will write an example. So of spring and dashpot with a mass. Okay, so spring constant K and friction constant B. So when there will be a force F of t, so you will be having an output, that is displacement in x of t. Okay, and now you need to understand what kind of motion it is. It is subjected to translational motion. Okay, so here you will be having mass, spring, friction, displacement. So these terms will coming to the problem. So when it is rotational, it will be changed to inertia, spring, friction, angular displacement, angular acceleration, angular velocity. So those terms will be used. Now the same has to be rewrite in the form of nodal diagram. So you can also term it as equivalent mechanical system. So how to rewrite this? So for this you need to follow 5 steps. Step number 1, identify the displacement in the mechanical system due to applied force. So you need to identify the mechanical displacement in mechanical. So here in the given mechanical system, the force is F of t and displacement is x of t. We have a displacement mentioned x of t. So that is done. We have identified. Second one, identify the elements which are under the influence of different displacements. So for the given system, we have only one displacement. So under this displacement, we have mass 1 and friction and spring. So total 3 elements. 3 elements is subjected to x of t. So that is also done. And step number 3, represent the each displacement by a separate node using nodal analysis. So we have one displacement, so same has to be represented, okay, with a node. I will write this as an x of t. Okay, we have only one displacement, x of t. In case if you have two displacement, you need to represent one more with a node. Let it be, if this is x1, this will be x2 of t. Okay, for time being we have only one displacement, represent only one node. So that is done. Okay, next. Step 4, show all the elements in parallel under the respective nodes which are under the influence of respective displacement. So you need to check, we have for the system only one displacement and we have 3 elements subjected to the same displacement. So you need to represent parallel. So if I draw parallel, I will write 3 line which is parallel. Okay, so each line will contribute mass, friction, and so let me say this as mass m and this as k and this as friction. So we have 3 elements, so you can represent the same. So I will represent mass, spring and friction. So these 3 will be coming under x of t. That is the meaning, and you should ground that. It's done. So this is how you write the equivalent diagram. Okay, we shall take a new problem, okay, at the end, and we will write the nodal diagram. So for this I have written for your understanding the equivalent mechanical system. And check step number 5. Step number 5, it says in case if you have an element, remember if you have any element which will be influenced to one or more displacement, not one, more than one displacement. So for this problem I don't have any more displacement, so all 3 elements will be coming under x of t. In case if you have 2 displacement and any of the element is sharing both the displacement, then you need to consider that element in between the displacement that I will show with an example. So for time being, I hope from step 1 to step 4 is understandable. Okay, so let me move on to the next. Yeah. So here in this page, it is showing how to represent the individual element. For example, you can notice here mass m. So mass m, if you want to represent in terms of nodal diagram, so check for this mass we have a displacement x of t. So x of t, it has to be represented with a node, that is done, and below that you represent mass m and ground. So this is x of t. Okay, equivalent. And similarly, if you see the second sketch, you have mass m and including friction. Okay, so what I will do, so for second I will take x of t, I will represent x of t. I have how many elements? Element 1 and element 2. Element 1 is mass, element 2 is friction. So I can represent mass m, so ground that, and one more it is friction. So you can represent with a symbol. Again ground that. This is B. And third, if you see, we have a spring. Same. So these two, 1 and 2, are subjected to x of t. So represent x of t and two elements. One is spring and one more it is mass. You just ground. This is the equivalent system. Okay, I will let you know what is the purpose of this equivalent system if you want to write a differential equation. So differential equation, so this system will be helpful. Okay, this is the purpose of equivalent system. So let me move on to the next page. Yeah, so this is one set of example where you can see mass m1 and m2 and there is a friction in between. So I will just represent mass m1 and I have a friction followed with m2. Okay, okay, so you consider this as an roller support, no friction to the surface. So in between m1 and m2 I have a friction B. So consider when I apply a force f of t, and you will be having a displacement, different displacement, because in between m1 and m2 there is a friction. So I can represent this as x2 and this as x1. Okay, so you need to check number of displacement. So it is very clear that from the given diagram we have two displacement. Remember, in some of the problem they may not specify you the displacement. You need to understand. Okay, you need to think the logic. So first displacement will be represented in two nodes. I will represent x1 of t and second displacement as x2 of t. So represent. So two displacements are there, two nodes, and again you need to represent the element which is subjected under x1 of t as well as element which is subjected under x2 of t. So for the same, if I see for x1 of t purely m1, so m1 I will represent, and for x2 m2. So this is also done. So you just ground that, and you can see there is a one more element, that is friction B, which will be under the influence of x1 as well as x2. For such element you will represent in between. So this is the fifth point. Okay, fifth step. So this will be represented as a common element between x1 of t and x2 of t. So when there is an x1 there will be a friction, when x2 is acted again there will be a friction B. So this is the concept. Okay, similarly for the spring also, if you see the spring here, so it will be represented in between. Okay, okay, so let me move on to the next slide. So the same, it is the same slide. Okay, yeah, now I have some problem. Okay, so this I have done. For the second problem I will show you how to rewrite. Okay, how to write the nodal diagram. So remember all 5 steps. Okay, now for this sketch they have given you, let me consider this as problem number 2. So already they have given x1 is given, fine, and x2 is also given. So now how to write the equivalent mechanical system. Okay. So consider the number of displacement. So the number of displacement is 2. 2 displacement are here. So for that we need to represent so this is first x1 of t, and we have one more displacement, that is x2 of t. So listen, pay your attention. So we have 2 displacement, 1 and 2. So same has to be represented in terms of node. Now check under x1 of t how many elements are getting influenced. So this is x1 of t. So to this displacement m1, b1, k1. So these 3 elements are getting influenced for m1. So what I will do, I will represent all 3 parallel. Okay, m1, let me ground this. The second element is that is k1, and I have one more. So all 3 I will represent in parallel connection. Yeah, done. That is B. So under x1 of t I have mass m1, k and b. All 3 are acting parallel. Okay, done. Now let me check under x2 how many elements are there. So if you see under x2 m2, and you are not supposed to consider b2 and k2. So there is a reason, because in case x1 is acted, so there will be a existence of friction b2 as well as deformation in k2. Similarly, when x2 exists, so there will be a friction b2 and deformation in k2. So this is a logic. So meaning b2 and k2 will act as a common element between m1 and m2. So under x2 only m2 is getting acted. So what I will do, I will represent m2. Okay. And the same will be grounded. Now so the common element, step number 5, remember the step number 5, the common element which is subjected to both the displacements will be written in between x1 and x2. So the common elements are b2 and one more, it is spring, that is k2, and join here. So this will represent the equivalent mechanical system, and you can also show the input. So what is our input? That is f of t is our input. Again you can show that. So this is a nodal diagram of a given mechanical system. Okay, so now I want you to try for problem number 3. Okay, for this problem I want you to write down the equivalent mechanical system in the form of nodal diagram and enable your video and show me how it is written. So far we discussed mechanical element subjected to translational and rotational motion. Now we are looking into the one more system, that is electrical system, and again here we will be considering three elements: resistor, inductor, capacitor, and its voltage equation. Okay, so in mechanical system we considered mass, friction and spring and respective force equations. So here voltage equation as well as the current equations. So here you can see for resistor, if you consider a resistance carrying current I, so if you see the figure, so the voltage drop across the circuit you can represent as V is equal to IR. So this equation is important, okay, while considering any electrical system. Okay, let me consider a simple electrical circuit carrying current I, with which will be having resistor, inductor and a capacitor. So how to write the equation? Okay, same way you need to understand the individual element. So V is equal to IR. In case if it is carrying current I1, I2, so then the polarity of the voltage drop will be given in terms of V is equal to I1 minus IR. See, for resistor, so remember the equation, voltage drop that is given by IR. So where I is current, R is resistance. So similarly, if in case if it is carrying, you check the figure here, I1 and I2, so the voltage drop will be given I1 minus I2 multiplied by R. So similar way for inductor. So the equation you can see here, the voltage drop across is given by V is equal to L into, okay, di by dt. So or else you can represent, that is I is equal to 1 by L integration of V dt. So remember this equation, because this is very much helpful in writing the equation that we consider a circuit diagram. So in the similar case, if it is having the current carries I1, the two I1, I2, then the polarity will be shown in this equation. So you can note this equation. So similarly, the final element, that is capacitor. So for the capacitor, the voltage drop will be given V is equal to 1 by C integration of I dt, or else you can represent it as I is equal to capacitance C dV by dt. And the same, V is equal to 1 by C integration of I1 minus IT, in case if it is carrying a current I1 minus I2. So the polarity of voltage equation will be given, so in this second equation. So you need to remember the three equation for the voltage drop for resistor, capacitor and inductor. So we will use this equation to solve the problem. Okay, next we will take up the elements. Okay, we will compare mechanical and electrical system. Okay, we will compare these two. Okay, we will relate mechanical system to the electrical as well as electrical to the mechanical, vice versa. So for this we call it as force voltage analogy. One comparison I will just show you, force voltage. This is the first comparison, and the second comparison will be force current analogy. So we will discuss one by one. What is force voltage analogy and force current? Meaning a representation of a mechanical system in terms of voltage equations and represent of a mechanical system in terms of current equations. So how to do that? Okay, we call in term of direct as well as indirect method. For today's session, I will stop here. From tomorrow, we will take up some examples to relate mechanical to the electrical and electrical to the mechanical.